Hi everyone. In this session, we're going to discuss the UiPath Studio interface. The UiPath Studio, as I've mentioned in my past videos, is the central point of focus when it comes to developing automations. It's an integrated development environment where you design and deploy everything you want to automate from. So you have to get familiar with the entire interface because that's what you're going to be using to create automations. What you see here is what happens when you open UiPath Studio by double-clicking on the desktop icon, for example. This screen will open up to you. And what you find is that it's a little bit busy, and I'm going to walk through what all of this, or the important parts of this, stand for so that you get comfortable with navigating through it. On the left side of the screen, you have open, close, start, tools, templates, teams, settings, help. Those are all commands that execute one thing or another regarding this integrated development environment. So for example, if you wanted to open an existing file, you would click on open, and by default it will go to where all UiPath projects are stored, and you might, for example, want to choose one of them. I have a lot of them on my computer. You probably won't have any if you're a beginner, so there's nothing to open in your own case. This is of course to close this, which we don't want to do. And start is where we are at, where that's what it defaults to. So that opens this screen. On the tools sidebar, you get a few more commands. For example, there are plugins, UiPath extensions, and applications. You use this when you want to interact with other applications, right? So for example, under UiPath extensions, if you wanted to install the browser, install UiPath into your Chrome browser, right? You would click that, this Chrome. If you wanted to uninstall it, you would do the same thing. So just as an example, I will uninstall from Chrome because I've been using this on my computer. So I would uninstall from Chrome just to show you what it looks like, and it might say something like, "Thank you, I've uninstalled it," right? Okay, so on a good day, you want to have all the browsers closed before you install, right? So first time you might have to do something like this, install, and then it will tell you, oh, if you want to install this, please close your browsers. But even if you don't, it will force them closed, okay? It's not a big deal. So now that's how easy it was to install it in Chrome. So if I open the Chrome browser, I might have, just use this one. It's gonna say something like, UiPath extension was installed, manage extensions. That pop-up, I wonder where it went. Extensions, manage extensions. That's where we are, manage extensions. But I don't see the UiPath extension here. So just to show you that it's been installed, there it is, on top here, new extension added, right? So if I click on that and say enable extension, I should get some kind of, right, there you go. So it's here, right? I'm not sure why it's not visible, right? Otherwise, I'm not sure why it's not visible. Okay, there it is. So these are the extensions in this browser, and UiPath is one of them. Okay, so that's how simple it is to like install it in your browser. Now, what this does is that it helps UiPath to interact better with the browser. So, if I wanted to build an automation that involves interacting with a Google Chrome browser, this will be working in the background, right? So, that's kind of how you do it. You do the same thing for Chrome, right? So here's Chrome. You can see UiPath already here, right? So it just helps. It helps you to automate browsers if you need them. And likewise, there are other applications like Firefox browser, Java, Silverlight, Citrix, Remote Desktop, VM Hardware, Excel, and SAP. So you can, depending on what you want to use it for, that's what these are for. These plugins relate to um, shared repositories like Git. And when you are collaborating with, when it's not only you building an automation, maybe you're a team, then it doesn't really make sense to store all the information on your desktop, right? You have to put it in a place where other people can access it. Sort of like a shared repository, right? And there are different versions of that. Popular ones include Git. Developers use that a lot. SVN, TFS, and the like, right? So this would be the place where you configure, partially at least, those plugins, so that when you want to like store, maybe you build an automation on this computer, and you want to store it in a place where other people can, maybe you're working together with others on the team, they'll be able to access it and maybe continue from where you stopped. So that place would be, for example, a Git repository. And so yeah, by enabling this, you're saying I want to be storing my work. I can publish my finished work or unfinished work to a certain place where other people on my team can at least see where I'm at and continue from there. So if you see, I'm going to skip over the next one to team so that it makes sense. Now, if you notice here, you will see that this also refers to the same repositories we were just talking about, and we chose Git, right? Git. So if you wanted to, maybe you were working with a team and you wanted to continue somebody else's work, you would hit this first one to drop their work to your computer and continue from there. If you want to copy yours, you would hit that. If you want to initiate the shared folder, you do this. So, but that's not the point of this session. We're just talking about what are these things for. So back to tools. That's what it's for. Templates. These are just no two developers use the same techniques. And so if you ask me to build something and I ask you to build the same thing, it's very likely that the way we approach it is going to be different. And that's where templates come in, because when other people are looking at your work, they might get confused. So we have these pre-built frameworks that all you have to do is just include your automation in it so that it's easy to understand and maintain by others. A very popular one is the Robotic Enterprise Framework, but there are many kinds, and you can choose any of them. Here it is, Robotic Enterprise Framework. Oh my gosh, I didn't really mean to open it. Yeah, just wanted to click it. So this is a very popular one, the standard template where, no matter who's developing, if we all use these templates, somebody else will be able to follow what you're doing, right? They're very useful in the real world because you can't just do stuff the way you feel like. You have to do stuff in a way that enables other people to be able to understand what you did and maintain it if you're not there. So that's very important. So lots of templates, depending on what you're looking for, you can use them. But a very popular one is this Robotic Enterprise Framework. Settings here is, you change things like, like I'm clicked on code editor now. I don't typically use it, but if you wanted to change the font, you could do that from here. The size, the tab size, and little things, little nuances you want to change. Here's if you want to change between studio profiles. These are the default places. Like right here, this is where UiPath Studio is, the actual application and its packages. This is the web version, and this is the marketplace if you want to get stuff to add on to your automation, which we'll talk about later. So sources, locations, if you want to change the default locations of where folders go to. Right now it goes to my documents, I think. That would be so yeah, somewhere, the default, if you wanted to change it, this is where you would do something like that. Okay, here it is. This is an example of a default location. And then, but what I'm trying to say is that by default, it kind of lands in my own documents. That's the way I've always known it to work. But if you needed to change it, that would be where you did that. Design, for example, is by default every 30 seconds, whatever you're doing backs up, right? If you want to change that, you can change this to 40,000, according to whatever you want, right? So this is the place where you make any kind. How long does it take when you make changes? Like if you want, like when you want to publish a project to the orchestrator, you want to take 50 seconds before it fails. If it's taking too long, you can do that, right? So little things like that. You toggle the buttons depending on your needs. What kind of language do you want to use, and so on and so forth, right? General. Do you want this theme to be dark or to be light? Because you can change it. You can change it to not white but black, right? But I don't really want to do that. But just to show you that this is what this is for. So back to start. Of course, help. Before we go back to start, help is just product documentation. If you click on this, it will take you to UiPath docs, and there is a lot of stuff to read. So I don't want you getting too bogged down with you can't learn everything in this one video. But if you needed to go and look for stuff about UiPath, you go to UiPath documentation, and it will tell you how do you install Studio if you're a reader, and give you some detailed instructions, right? How do you update? How do you lots of information here, right? But then that's why we're creating this course, so you don't have to go through all of that. So just so you know, if you ever get stymied, get information from here. This is the forum where you can go and ask questions from other users. This is the help center. This is Academy where you go for training. So these are all shortcuts, right? A quick tutorial. And I'll go back to start. So in the next video, we'll talk a little bit more about the right side of the screen so that this video isn't too long. See you again soon.